In the heart of an upscale restaurant, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. A billionaire CEO sat at the center table, his sharp suit and commanding presence making it clear that this was no ordinary dinner. He was on the verge of sealing a $3.5 billion deal, and every move he made carried the weight of power and arrogance. The staff moved around him cautiously, aware of his reputation and the importance of the night. Then it happened. A young waitress, clearly nervous under his gaze, approached with a glass of water. Her hand trembled just slightly, and a single drop slipped over the edge, landing on the crisp white tablecloth. The mistake was small, almost unnoticeable, but to the CEO, it was unforgivable. His eyes narrowed, his lips curled, and in a voice that cut through the chatter of the room, he spat out the word, "stupid." The insult wasn't whispered, it was loud enough for every diner to hear. The sound seemed to echo, and suddenly, the once bustling restaurant fell silent. Forks hovered in midair, conversation stopped, and every eye turned to the young waitress. Her face flushed red as she lowered her head, desperately holding back tears. For her, it wasn't just about the mistake, it was about the humiliation of being reduced to a single cruel word in front of strangers. In that moment, the weight of the CEO's arrogance overshadowed his wealth, leaving the room heavy with discomfort and quiet judgment. In the corner of the restaurant, the billionaire's business partner had been watching quietly. He was an older man, calm and composed, with eyes that measured more than just numbers. While the CEO boasted about profits and mergers, the partner observed the way he treated those around him. The deal on the table was enormous, $3.5 billion, but to this man, values mattered more than money. When the waitress was insulted, the partner noticed her trembling hands, the way her shoulders sank, and the painful silence that followed. He didn't see a careless worker, he saw a young woman doing her best under pressure, undeserving of such cruelty. Something shifted inside him. Instead of focusing on the documents in front of him, he leaned gently toward the waitress. His voice, warm and steady, broke the tension as he asked, "Are you all right?" She gave the smallest nod, though her eyes were still glossy with unshed tears. That simple act of kindness lit a spark in the room. Then he turned his gaze back to the CEO, his expression steady but firm. "If you can't respect the person serving your table," he said, "how can I trust you to respect the people we'd be working with?" His words didn't carry anger, but conviction, a truth that pierced deeper than any insult. The CEO shifted uncomfortably, brushing it off with a laugh, convinced money could smooth over anything. But for the partner, the decision had already been made. Something more important than business was at stake. The CEO leaned back in his chair, smirking as if the remark had meant nothing. To him, this was just another negotiation, another number on a sheet. But the partner's words had landed heavily, and the room seemed to hold its breath. The waitress, still shaken, lingered near the edge of the table, unsure if she should stay or walk away. The partner's voice remained calm, but there was no mistaking the steel beneath it. "Respect is the foundation of every relationship, personal or professional," he said. "If arrogance blinds you here, how can I believe it won't blind you in business?" His eyes locked on the CEO, not with anger, but with disappointment. For a brief moment, the CEO's confidence cracked. He tapped his fingers against the table, as if trying to dismiss the weight of the conversation. "Come on," he scoffed, "we're here to make billions, not worry about waitstaff." His tone was dismissive, dripping with pride. But the partner didn't flinch. Instead, he slid the stack of papers, the contract worth $3.5 billion, across the polished table, pushing it back toward the CEO. The gesture was simple, but its meaning was devastating. Gasps echoed from nearby diners who had been following every word. "You've already shown me who you are," the partner said firmly. "And I can't sign a deal with someone who treats people as less than human." The CEO froze, stunned. For the first time that evening, his wealth and power meant absolutely nothing. The weight of the moment pressed down as the partner stood, his chair scraping softly against the floor. The CEO chuckled nervously, convinced this was just a bluff. "You'd really walk away from billions over this?" he asked, gesturing dismissively toward the waitress. But the answer came without hesitation. "Yes," the partner replied. "Because no amount of money is worth compromising respect." His words cut through the air, sharp and undeniable. With steady hands, he tucked his pen into his jacket pocket, leaving the unsigned contract lying flat and lifeless on the table. The CEO's grin faltered. Around them, the restaurant had become an audience to his downfall. Whispers rippled through the room, diners shaking their heads in quiet disapproval. The waitress stood frozen, wide-eyed, watching as the man who had humiliated her just minutes earlier lost something far greater than his pride. The billionaire leaned forward, desperation flickering in his voice. "Wait, we can talk this through. Don't be unreasonable." But the partner had already turned, pausing only to look at him one last time. "The real loss tonight isn't mine," he said gently, "it's yours." Gasps filled the room as the partner walked away, leaving the CEO staring at the unsigned deal, a $3.5 billion empire slipping through his fingers. In that silence, the humiliation he had tried to place on a young waitress now rested squarely on his own shoulders. For the first time, the CEO had no power, no control, only the bitter taste of regret. As the partner made his way toward the exit, he stopped beside the young waitress. His voice softened, carrying warmth and sincerity that contrasted sharply with the harshness she had endured minutes earlier. "Thank you for your service," he said with a gentle smile. "You did nothing wrong." Her eyes welled up, but this time it wasn't from humiliation, it was from relief. That single acknowledgement restored a piece of her dignity that had been stripped away so carelessly. She managed a small smile, whispering, "Thank you, sir," her voice trembling with gratitude. The diners who had witnessed everything seemed to breathe easier, some even nodding in quiet approval. The moment wasn't just about a failed business deal anymore. It was about a powerful reminder that kindness could carry more weight than wealth. At the table, the billionaire CEO sat frozen, staring at the unsigned contract that symbolized not only a lost fortune but also the cost of his arrogance. For once, he had no clever words, no excuses, only silence. The partner held the door open briefly, sunlight spilling into the restaurant. Before stepping out, he glanced back and left the room with a final thought: in the end, how we treat others will always matter more than money. The waitress stood a little taller, her spirit lifted. Around her, the restaurant slowly returned to life, but the lesson lingered in every heart that had witnessed it. Wealth may come and go, but dignity, respect, and kindness, those are priceless.